Hi, I'm Lance, and we're going to talk about collaboration in Flux. In this tutorial, I'm going to cover sharing and permissions, staying in sync with your team, and real-time multiplayer editing. Let me just pull up an example here. So you can think of Flux at a high level like a virtual shared space where you can collaborate with other people in real time while you're building hardware. So say you're working on something and you want to involve others to get feedback or help, maybe other electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, firmware developers, maybe even troubleshoot something with manufacturers, and you don't want to worry about anybody messing up your work. So there's a couple ways to do this. The first way to share is really simple. It's just to copy the URL and paste that into an email, Slack, wherever you want to communicate. And Flux works similar to Google Documents, so it updates in real time to the cloud. This means that whoever has a link is always going to see the latest and greatest. So there's no need to email back and forth marked up PDFs or anything like that. The other way to share, if you want a little bit more fine-tuned control, is to use the share button on the top right here. That pulls up a dialog where you can, copy the link again, and control permissions at a high level. So this means that anybody who has that URL will be able to comment, view, edit, or you can turn sharing off. If you want even more fine-tuned control, you can control permissions at a individual level here. So first you invite people by entering their username, and you can control their permission here and click add. And then for the people, you can see the people who have access to the document down here in a list, and you can update their permissions on a case-by-case basis. A great way to collaborate with your team is through commenting. So you can create a comment anywhere on the canvas, which is really helpful if you're trying to have discussion within the context of your question. To bring up a comment, you can just right click and click insert comment, or you can also use the hotkey Command G. And that'll bring up a dialog. And let's just say, did you find a source for this antenna? Then you can hit enter or the send button. And anybody else who is collaborating on this document will receive an email notification that looks something like this. So the person who commented has replied or added a comment to your document. So it'll be easy for other people to stay in the loop with these conversations. And sometimes with designing hardware, a photo is really helpful. So the commenting feature here also allows for like images and video to be attached. So say you want to share, pin locations or some documentation, maybe an image of a prototype. You can also do that here. Another tip is that you can pin a comment thread or an image so that anybody who opens this document will easily see that you've put an image here or see your comment. So to do that, you just click the three dots at the top right of the comment and say pin or unpin the thread. You can also resolve comments to remove the pin from the canvas. Every now and then, mistakes might happen. Say you accidentally gave somebody editing permission or you broke your simulation. There's always a way to use the change history to revert to a previous version of the document. You also have unlimited undo and redo. So to use the change history, you just use this top left hamburger menu and go to change history. And here you'll see literally every action anybody has taken on the document since it began. And you can click on an entry to view that version of the document and just click restore to restore that version. Another really helpful tool you can use for collaboration is real-time multiplayer editing. And that's just a fancy way of saying if I share a link to this document or somebody else is looking at it the same time that I am, I can see their cursor position and actions in real time. So here you can see Cassandra moving, maybe pointing to things, selecting objects, moving them. This makes doing design reviews or debugging circuits much more efficient. The other thing to note here is that you can see the number of real-time collaborators or just like other people looking at your document on the top right here. So see a little circle, that's Cassandra. If there were 5 people in the document, you'd see 5 circles right here. There's just one. So that's it. We've covered sharing permissions, some tools for staying in sync with your team, and real-time multiplayer editing. Thanks.